Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start on this side and move to the right. So right here is my Printerbot Simple, and it is the newest version of the Printerbot Simple other than the Simple Metal, which has a all metal frame. So this is mainly just the laser cut wood. So the extruder head, which is right there, is on the Y and Z axis. So this whole frame moves up in the Z-axis, and it moves the print head in the Y-axis, and then the bed only moves in the X-axis. So the great thing about their newest version of the Simple is it has a auto bed leveling probe, which you can see right there next to the extruder head, which all it does is it tells you how high the printer head is above the print bed, and it measures the 3 points, so this point, this point, and this point, to tell you how crooked the bed is and everything like that. And as it's printing, the Z-axis always moves to give you a nice, consistent, level print, which will lead to better prints overall. So there's the power supply for the printer. Since I have a heated bed, it uses a regular computer power supply. Just because the one that this printer doesn't originally come with a heated bed, I had to order it from somebody else who makes them. So the power cable that comes with the printer, which is a lot smaller, it's kind of just like a laptop power supply. I had to switch that out for a computer power supply because it can't provide enough power to the heated bed, because it needs a lot of power to heat up that whole bed to the highest temperature that I've been able to get it up to is 110 degrees Celsius, which is great for ABS, which is what I'm using right now. And that's just my ghetto mount for my filament spools, so it could feed directly into the print head without me having to mess with it just on its own. So right here we have a digital oscilloscope. So all it does, let me turn on, all it does is it measures voltage versus time. So if I have a sine wave or a digital signal or anything like that, it will measure, so there's a little graph, it'll just measure the amplitude, which is basically just how much voltage it is putting in versus time. So there's that. It's great for troubleshooting or digital design, circuit design, things like that. So here is my digital trainer. So it's analog and digital, which means it has a function generator, so it can produce sine waves, sawtooth waves, things like that, and also a digital power supply. So I believe it does between 1 and 12 volts, and it has a few switches, LEDs just built into it, which makes it easier to prototype and things like that. It has a breadboard, a pretty big breadboard for bigger projects and things like that. So here is my Samsung 27-inch monitor. I believe I bought it for about $240. It wasn't too bad. It's a 1920 by 1080p. It looks pretty good. It's only 60 hertz, which isn't bad. This is my first desktop, so anything is better than nothing. So it's been looking pretty good for me. I just have a few of my printed parts, on display right there. I like looking at them. And I also love the movie WALL-E. It's a pretty good movie. My speakers, they were about $50. I just got them off of Newegg. They come with a subwoofer that's down right there. Also my Logitech C920 webcam. A few of the little, whenever I get a new filament, I like printing out these guys to see how good the filament is with printing. So it's just a good little test that I like to do. So here's my computer. Let me go ahead and open up the side panel. 1 second. Alright, so here it is. So let's see what's in it. The motherboard is a Asus Crosshair V Formula Z. It's been a great motherboard. It's really nice, has a lot of cool features. I had to switch it out for a MSI 970 gaming motherboard, just because for some reason it kept on shutting off after a while, and it wouldn't do anything. Nothing would come up on the screen. It wouldn't recognize anything. It would just be a black screen and it wouldn't do anything. So I had to switch it out. I had to replace it twice, and I just ended up going with this Asus motherboard. So right here we have the R9 270X Gigabyte version, WindForce. So let's see if I can get a look at the fans. I'm not too sure if you can see that, but it is a extremely long card. Right now I'm only able to put one in it. I've been thinking about putting another one and getting a few more displays later on in the future, but to do that I'd have to basically take out this drive bay just because it's so long and it'll hit. I might replace this case. It is a Corsair Spec 02 or Spec 03, I believe. I'm not too sure. It's a great case for $50, but it isn't really too great on the size of it, since it is a mid-tower case and you can't really fit too long of cards, and the cable management in the back is awful for me. Right now the back of the side panel is bowed out a little bit just because I have too many cables back there. So I just put up a video on my unboxing of the Corsair H80i. So that's the radiator, the CPU block. It's been pretty great as a RGB light. The Corsair logo lights up RGB, so any colors right now, I just have it cycling through red, blue, green, and just white. And it's been pretty great. It was a really easy install. I'll probably do another video on that about what I think possibly. And I had to mount the radiator right there. That is basically the only point where you can mount the radiator. Since it's so thick and it uses two fans, I probably wouldn't be able to mount it there because it would probably just cover up the CPU block and just probably be touching the CPU block and the north bridge right there, the heatsink right there, probably be touching that. I wasn't able to do it on the top because it hit my RAM, and my RAM is it's Corsair Vengeance. It's two 4 gigabyte sticks. They are at 1866. So pretty fast RAM. They've been pretty good. I haven't had any problems with that. And then I have a EVGA 750B. It's a 80 plus gold 750 watt power supply. Pretty great. It's semi-modular, which is nice since I don't have a lot of cable management in the back of here. It's been pretty great for hooking up all the cables. I don't have to, stuff everything in the corner. I wouldn't even be able to, so that's good. I have a 256 gigabyte Corsair Force LX SSD, as well as a Western Digital 500 gigabyte black. I'm looking at getting another hard drive just because that is not enough space or storage for me. Let's see what else. I have a 120 millimeter Corsair LED fan, 140 millimeter LED Corsair fan, another 120 millimeter Corsair fan, and then in the front pulling, can't see it, but I just have the regular fan that the H80i came with, and another LED fan which the case came with. The system is a little bit loud. I could hear it fine even on idle, but I might switch out some of the fans for a little bit better, quieter fans. What else is in here? I have a optical drive, a Blu-ray optical drive right there. And that's about it for my computer. I love this system. It looks nice. It's right here next to my monitor, so I really wanted it to look nice just because it's going to be right next to me I didn't really have anywhere else to put it since these desks. I talked about them in another video in my unboxing. Oh no, I did not. But so these are whiteboard desks, which I built myself just because whiteboard desks for sale are crazy expensive. So I'm not a great builder or a woodworker, so just simple build. And they are pretty great. They write really good. A lot of my homework is online, like for math and things like that. So it's just great being able to work out a problem right on your desk and just be able to erase it right after. So that's that. They erase really good. All they are is just little 2x4 foot whiteboard panels that you could buy at Home Depot, and they, you could attach them to anything. They work really, really good. And my keyboard, it's just a CM Storm. I didn't want to go too crazy overboard just because I was buying the whole system at once. So I bought the computer, I bought the monitor, and everything like that all at once basically. So the keyboard and mouse kind of were the shortcoming in my system just because I was trying to save money everywhere I can and still have a awesome system. So it's just a CM Storm. I believe it's like $20-something for the mouse and keyboard combo. It's a red backlight. I believe they have different colors, blue, just regular white as well. Oh yeah, and also one more thing, a few mods that I did with these Gigabyte cards. The metal brace right there, you could very easily take it off. All it is held on with 3 little screws. I didn't have to take off the heat sink or anything like that. All I did was took it off. I bought some red spray paint, spray painted that red, and also the drive bay, I took that off and spray painted it red. And I think it looks pretty good. It's just a peel-off paint, so if I ever need to send back the graphics card or I want to switch it back, all I have to do is peel off the paint. I got the paint from Lowe's. It was really easy to apply. Didn't take that long to dry. It was pretty good. So over here, I just have a few bins for spare 3D printing my 3D printer parts, a few electronic stuff, solder, things like that, Arduino, shields, stuff like that. Here's my bucket of sensors, cables, things like that, all that I use for electronics. And that's about it for this corner. My cable management is pretty bad down under the table. I need to do something about that. So that's, for the most part, that corner. I have a chalkboard up on the wall just in case I want to put up projects that I'm currently working on, reminders, to-dos, things like that. I have it empty right now just because I've been too lazy to put anything on it. Over here, I have underwear and sock bins down there, and I'm not using all of them, so I just have on display a few 3D printed things, puzzles. I like puzzles. Lego architecture. That thing was pretty cool. It's just a Sydney Opera House Lego architecture. There's a little hand that I printed with flexible joints, flexible printed joints. So the fingers flex. All you have to do is pull on those cables to pull in the fingers, and that's pretty cool. Just a few things that I printed. Little piggy bank that I printed. My fish. And that's about it. Just some random stuff over there. So that's about it for my little tour of what I have for my little corner where I do all of my work. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more things that I'll be doing. Just whenever I have a chance or whenever I feel like it, I'll release a video. So stay tuned. Probably the next video that I will release will be possibly 3D modeling or 3D printing. Just an overview of how I do that, how I 3D model, or what software my printer bot uses, and things like that, just so you have a look at what it takes to 3D print. It is extremely easy, probably easier than you think. So stay tuned for that, and that'll be all. So have a great day.